In this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize your page designs for different devices. So this is going to make sure that your web pages are loading properly and beautifully on desktop, mobile, and tablet. So let's go ahead and navigate over to our website by clicking on View Your Website on the top left-hand side. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a template. And let's go ahead and stick with our ice cream template that we've been using sporadically through this series. So I'm going to apply that to my page. And once I've applied this, you're going to see that when I change to my tablet view and when I change to my mobile view, that things are going to change, and you're going to probably notice a couple things that you're not particularly happy with the way that they look. So one thing to note before we get started is that any changes you make to the desktop view are going to flow down into your tablet view. And any changes you make in your tablet view are going to flow down to your mobile view. Any changes you make to your mobile view, however, are not going to flow back up to your tablet view, and any changes you make to your tablet view are not going to flow back up to your desktop view. So changes flow down, they don't flow back up. This allows you to really customize the way that these views look on each individual device. So now that we've got that, let's go ahead and have a look at a couple of the things that we might want to change. And it's important to note that it's better to make changes to your desktop view first and then see how that affects the rest of your design, because I don't necessarily want to go into my mobile view and customize everything from here and then go to my tablet view and customize everything there and then go to my desktop view and make sure everything is fine. I want to try my best to make sure that my desktop design is as mobile friendly as possible from the get-go. So the first thing I've noticed is that this beautiful massive heading over here does not look so great on my other two views. Here it's overlapping that ice cream, and here it's just a mess. So what I want to do is come to my desktop view. I'm going to click on this text. I know that it is a heading 1, so it's got a heading 1 style. And I want to go ahead and change that a little bit. So I'm going to come here to my heading 1 settings, and I want to make this a bit smaller. It's currently not inheriting from the global style, so I could do that, and that's going to make it a lot smaller. So I don't really want it that small on desktop, but I also don't want it to be so big that it's distorting on my other views. So I've done that. I'm going to go and see how that's affected my view over here. It doesn't look so great still over here. And over here, we still have that problem. Over here, it's not inheriting at all. So in this case, I could say inherit from style, but then we've got a bigger mess. So what I'm going to do is actually make this 55 instead. Nope, 55 is still too big. So we're going to make it 50. Now we have a new issue in that our ice cream is a little bit too far away. So I might want to change the way this block looks, because sure, it's nice, but I'm not thrilled with the way that that ice cream is showing up. So I'm just going to change the min height over here. And I'm just going to get it to a point where I'm happy with how that ice cream is looking. So there we go. That's much nicer. So this is an example of having to go to each individual thing and changing the way it looks. Again, over here, I don't like the way that this looks over here. Ice cream can definitely fit in one line. So we're going to go in here and we're going to change up those settings a little bit. So instead of having that wrap like this, we want it to look more like this. So let's come over here and we want to get those onto the same line. We can maybe change the size here a little bit. Let's say 85. Nope, that's still too big. 80. There we go. So now that's a little bit better. It's got the same sort of view as the home page on desktop. I do again want to change the min height here a little bit so that ice cream isn't so alienated now from the rest of it. Nope, I dragged too far. There we go. Okay. So now we've got our desktop view, which looks very similar to our tablet view, which looks very similar to our mobile view. So we can go through our mobile view and see if there's anything else that we don't like. Perhaps this section isn't so fantastic. Don't really like that I've got this image and then text just after we've had this massive image, and then there's another image and then text and then more text and then another image. I don't like the way that that is. I would rather have this be text, image, text, image. So I'm going to come here to the tablet view, and I'm going to see on tablet, it looks beautiful. That looks absolutely fine. But on mobile view, it doesn't look so great. So this is, again, an example. I'm just coming to the mobile view, and I'm going to edit the way it looks here. So I'm going to select this column. I don't want that column, that row. So I'm going to select that row, and I'm going to come here and reverse my content. So here we have this setting. I'm going to say reverse content, yes. Then I have my text, my image, my text, and my image. So that has been fixed over there, but on desktop and on tablet, it stays the same because that works. Now over here, I have a big issue with the tablet view. That does not look very good. So I'm going to have a look and see what that looks like on mobile. On mobile, it's not too bad. It's not wonderful, but it's not too bad. But we definitely need to fix the way that that looks over here on tablet view. So I'm going to come here to this section. I'm going to go to the row. So yeah, we're going to come here to the row. And I don't want this to be horizontal. I'm going to make this vertical instead. And I mean, it's not hugely better, but I could make this work in some way. So let me come back and make it horizontal again. It just doesn't work this way. So we're going to make it vertical. And what I'm going to do is come to the column, and I'm going to remove that min height. So again, I'm going to do that for this one as well. I'm going to remove that minimum height, and I'm going to do the same thing for this row as well. We're going to make that vertical. And for this column, we're going to remove that vertical height, or the min height, and do the same for this one. So this is not ideal. I'm going to go ahead and change these images a little bit as well. So I'm going to come to the column, sorry, not the space, so the column, and I'm going to edit the background. This is how we've got those, not the background, sorry, the border. It's how we got those rounded corners. I'm going to come here to the radius section. I'm going to edit that. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the other two. So we've now got all of those rounded corners. I'm going to go ahead and do the same to the rest of these. So edit that border, make sure we've got nice rounded corners on all sides, and come here to this one, do the same thing, come here to the border, edit those. So we've got nice, I could have just 20'd the whole thing. Instead of doing it this way, I'm doing it the long way. Again, I want to come to the border, edit that, make sure it's 20 pixels rounded on all sides. So that's looking a lot nicer in my opinion. We could go ahead and edit the text a little bit. So if I come here to this container, I could decide to add a little bit of, just a bit more padding. So maybe 30 pixels of padding is a bit nicer. And I'll do the same for this container. 30 pixels of padding, and the same for this container. Let's just get it looking all nice and uniform. And let's make that 30 as well. All right, so now that's looking quite a bit neater. I'm quite fond of that. I could even decide to change the layout entirely, but I'm just going to leave that as is. I like that. And then when I come here to my desktop, you'll see that nothing has changed over here. But if I come to my mobile view, things have changed. So now this doesn't look the way it did before, but it doesn't look much different because in the mobile view, the objects were already stacked a little bit like this. Now, something else I could do is just add a little bit of space around the edges of these images so that they're not hugging right up against the side. So again, I can come here to the column and I can just go ahead and add a little bit of margin, let's say 10 pixels of margin to each of these, just so it's not pushed right up against the edges there and just looks a little bit nicer. So this is just nice little easy way to do that. All right, so now if I go to mobile view again, you'll see that it just looks a little bit neater. I do have a bit of spacing there from a spacer that I could probably remove. Let me come here to this section. Yeah, I think we can actually remove that spacer from this section. So what I'm going to do instead of removing that is I'm going to hide it. So I'm going to click on that column and I'm going to scroll down. I need to get to the row. I'm going to come here to the row and I'm going to say, no, it's not visible. And there we go. That's fixed that little issue without affecting this design and with making this design also look a little bit neater. So there is a classic example of when you're going to use your visibility settings. Now here we've got our menu. I'm just going to have a look through the mobile view, see if there's anything else we could maybe change. The menu looks okay. It's a bit long to scroll. Here we have another text issue. So for this one, we can come here to the tablet view, see what that looks like over here. Looks fine over here, so we can just fix that on the mobile view. So let me go ahead, and I believe this is also a heading 1. Let me check in the code over here. It's a heading 2. So I'm going to come here to my heading 2 settings, and I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller so that that fits. So let's make that 25, maybe 30. I think 30 might fit. Just a bit shy. So we're going to make it 28. Nope, we're going to make it 27. No. There we go. 27. Perfect. All right, so I'm just going to scroll through and see if anything else needs to be changed. Not really. Everything looks pretty fine. I wouldn't stress about anything too much. This looks okay. It could be improved. There's a lot that could be improved, but you gotten the gist of what sort of things you can do to improve the way that this looks on the different views. Now, something you might want to do is hide certain elements. You cannot move blocks around. So if you move or delete a block, that is going to be permanently deleted from all different views. So let's take our fresh ingredients block, for example, here. If I click on this block and I decide that I want to delete this, I don't want this on my tablet view, and I go ahead and I delete that. If I come here to desktop, it's gone. There's no, it's not there. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to click on history and I'm going to undo that. If I don't want that to show here on tablet view, where is it? There it is. I'm instead going to hide this block. So I will click on the block, I'll scroll down here and I'll say, no, it's not visible. But now you might be wondering, oh, what's happened to my block? It's gone. You can see it's over here on the side. It's just hidden off to the side. So that's to tell you, hey, there's a block there. Or you can come here to your navigator and you'll see that that block is still here and you'll be able to access all of that information still there. So your block isn't gone, it's just hidden. So if you want that to be visible, you can say, yes, it is visible. And this is how you'll be able to change the structure of your content throughout your different views. So you won't be able to just move blocks and containers and rows around without affecting the other views. You will have to copy them, paste them somewhere else, and then change the visibility, or simply just hide what you don't want to be visible on your website in the different views. So that is how you can start optimizing your website for different device views. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to manage your pages. I'll see you there.